YouTube, what's good, YouTube? What is going on? What is happening? Those who out there know why I did that. But what's going on, y'all? Hopefully it's all good. Hopefully you guys are fantastic. My Smell Good family. Hopefully you guys are having a lot of great things going on in your lives and everybody's good and everything's cool with you guys. So you know how we give it up here. Positive vibes only, man. That's all we rocking with is positive vibes. Okay, so we are back with the weekly rotation video. Everything that I wore this past week, from the week of October the 9th. All right, October the 9th. So we had some real bangers, man. We had we had a good week. We had a good week with fragrances. You know, in Florida, especially where I am up in North Florida, man, the weather fluctuates. So this week was a lot of versatile scents. And then once we got towards the end of the week, I was able to kind of jump back into some more appropriate scents for the fall. All right, so let's go ahead and dive right into it. On Sunday, we want one that I really like. This one kind of has a lot of conversation about it, whether it's comparable to, you know, La Nuit de l'Homme, or whether it's more Blue Electric. And I think it has hints of both, more so on the Blue Electric line. I don't think it's a dead ringer for it, but I enjoyed it. So on Sunday, from the house of Lattafa, we have Ejazzy Intense Silver. Ejazzy Intense Silver. Now I did a first impression on this thing, and my mind has changed towards this fragrance a bit in some regards. I think it does have elements of Blue Electric more than La Nuit de l'Homme, and I also think it does its own thing, but I do like it. You get a host of healthy notes here. You get some orange in here, a slight aquatic feel. There's some musk in here. Of course, the lavender is in here as well. To me, this is a very versatile scent. You could do a lot with it. So for me on Sunday, I was really running some errands. We're doing some recording, doing some editing. So I was really, in one place, and I just enjoyed the time that I spent with this. So I enjoy it. I like it, man. So big bang for your buck. You can get it for cheap for sure. Decent performer. And I enjoyed it on Sunday for sure. So from the house of Lattafa on this past Sunday, we went with Ejazzy Intense Silver on Sunday. All right, moving along to Monday, I believe. Yeah, Monday, we returned to the office, and I had been wanting to wear this one, man, and it had been on my mind for quite some time, and I pulled it out, and I'm glad that I did. From the house of Paco Rabanne, we have Invictus Platinum. Invictus Platinum. This scent's really starting to grow on me to the point that I'm starting to love it. All right, the grapefruit and the lavender. They have this abdancy. Forgive me for not pronouncing it right, but it's sort of along the lines of a liquor drink. All right, so it does not. I'm not saying it's a boozier fragrance, but it does have a hint of something unique, and that's where that note comes into play. But the grapefruit and the lavender really shine in this thing. You get a little patchouli in here as well. That kind of beefs it up, kind of dirties it up a bit in the dry down. But I really did enjoy it. Wore it to the office. I did get a couple compliments on my way into work wearing this. So it definitely does its thing for sure, and I really like it. From the house of Paco Rabanne on Monday, back to the office, we went with Invictus Platinum. Invictus Platinum. Good versatile scene here as well. You can do a lot with Invictus Platinum for sure. All right, moving along to Tuesday, we went with my favorite from the line, very popular, mass appealing fragrance for sure, from the house of Versace. All right, we have Versace EROS, the EDP. All right, this one right here is a classic for many reasons with the EDT. But me personally, I love the EDP. The Parfum is good as well. I don't have that one yet in my collection, but I look to acquire that at some point. But with this one, I don't know, man. It's just a little bit more smoother, a little bit more refined, not as edgy, a little bit more mature from what you get with the huge, playful, DNA from the EDT. This one, kind of is mellowed out a bit, and I like it the best. All right, so it's a really good performer. I have a backup bottle of this as well, so I just enjoy it. It's something that I'm something that I'll be wearing to the office the majority of the time. It's not what you think with the EDT. If you haven't smelled this one, like I said, it's kind of dialed back a tad bit. That sweetness is still there. That vanilla, that apple is still present. That mint is still present, but in a more smoother way, and I really enjoy it. On Tuesday in the office, from the house of Versace, we went with Versace EROS, the EDP. Big fan of this one for sure. On Wednesday, the weather was wet and rainy and cloudy, and it was a little warmer out. A cool front was coming through, and I think this fragrance was the best suit for that day. From the house of Terre d'Hermes. All right, we have Terre d'Hermes, the EDT. I was late to the party on this one, 2005 or 6 release, but I love it. I enjoy it. I love it. That bitter orange, that vetiver, it's done very, very, very well. This one right here performs for me pretty well. I get about 6 to 7 hours of good solid performance. I overspray, so I might get an additional hour, but it just really worked for me and just the type of day that it was. I really enjoy this stuff. This is a classic, mature, masculine man fragrance. Not saying the younger crowd can't get with this, but to me, it's just really, really good, man. It just kind of suits how I dress when I go to work. I'm normally in a button down and some slacks and some dress shoes, and something like this could really put the bow on what I got going on when I go to work. So on Wednesday, deal with a rainy, gloomy, cloudy day. We went from the house of Terre d'Hermes. We have Terre d'Hermes, the EDT. The EDT. Nice, classy bottle as well. All right. On Thursday, you know what time it is. I had to work, but I also went to the barbershop that day and decided to reach for this one, for this version. This one's gaining a lot of steam, gaining a lot of ground, becoming very, very popular. From the house of Armand, we went with Club de Nuits, Intense Man, the limited edition Parfum. So this is one of my favorites from what I have, and it's just much more refined, much more smoother. Probably the smoothest batch from what I have from the EDT, the EDP, and even the Pure Parfum. This is probably the most well-rounded of what I have, and you can tell it in the quality and everything. So it's really, really nice, and I really, really enjoyed it. This bottle has macerated since I've gotten it. I've gotten this over a year ago, and when I first got it, the performance is right at that 6 to 7 hour mark. But since I've had it a little over a year now, I really got around that 9 hour mark when it came to decent performance. Even when I went to go take my shower later that night, I still smelled it coming off my skin once I came out of my shirt, because I sprayed a couple of sprays on my chest as well. But just throughout the day, I was getting wafts of it, and it's really, really macerated over time, and it's really good, man. Y'all know how I feel about the DNA. Creed Aventus is just a fantastic DNA, and they did a great job with this for sure. So from the house of Armand on Thursday, we went with Club de Nuits, Intense Man, the limited edition Parfum. A lot of people ask me which one do I recommend, and normally it's either this one or the Pure Parfum, but you can't go wrong with either. All right. Then on Friday, I said to myself a while ago and to y'all during a video that I was going to try to finish out this bottle before the year is out. I don't know if I'm going to make it, but I'm sure I am going to try. My favorite scent of them all, from the house of Chanel, we have Bleu de Chanel, the EDP. The EDP. This one is the most versatile. This one is the more... this is the one that most people gravitate towards. Now me, I have the whole line. I love the EDT. I use that for certain things. I love the EDP. I do a lot more with the EDP. And then the Parfum kind of holds a special place in my heart, so I kind of use that sparingly. But this is the one that I grab, just like most people, for the office, stepping out, running errands, going if I'm hanging out or whatever. This is something that I would grab for versatility, good for all year round. And it's just great. People might be tired of hearing about it or may consider it, old news, but y'all tripping. This is one I feel every man should have a bottle of Bleu de Chanel. Even if you don't have this, if you have an inspired by version from whoever, you should have this style of DNA in your collection. I firmly believe that because it's just great. It's great, man. It's just really, really great. On Friday, to the office, this held me down for sure. From the House of Chanel, we went Bleu de Chanel, the EDP. All right, and last but not least, on Saturday, I wore 2 fragrances on Saturday. And the first one, the cool front hat came through. I woke up, it was around 55, 56 degrees, and I was just in the mood to test something. And I'm glad that I did. From the House of Lattafa, we went with Oud for Glory. Oud for Glory. Now, this is a clone of, I think, Initial's Oud for Greatness, I believe that's the name of it. And for what I understand, because I've never smelled Oud for Greatness, that Oud for Glory is a dead ringer of an inspired by 1A, 1B. I can't confirm that, but that's just what I've been told, and that's what I've heard. But this stuff is beastly. Oud, lavender, patchouli, saffron, just a real masculine man's man fragrance that smells really, really good. I got a compliment when I first got into work on Saturday morning, and actually I was asked, what was it? I told him what it was, and he wanted the link to it, all right? And I provided that for him. So this stuff is not for the weak at heart, even though the oud in here is very obtainable. It's not a big deal. But if you're not into oud and the saffron type of fragrance, then you might want to stay away from this. This is for a confident man, all right, that wants a challenge of a fragrance. It provides that for sure, and it's really, really good, and I really enjoy it. So on Saturday during the day, we're from the House of Lattafa, we went with Oud for Glory. Oud for Glory. Yeah, same silhouette and style as the Oud for Greatness bottle, all right? And last but not least, really cool experience. I was invited later on that evening to a Gucci event at my local dealers. So shout out to my ladies, Miss Crystal and Miss Heather. They invited me, and it was so fun to be there. A woman from Gucci flew out from Texas, gave us great dialogue about the House of Gucci, went through the female fragrances, the male fragrances. They had giveaways and finger foods and all kind of stuff like that. It was really, really dope just to get a little bit of education of Gucci, smell some things that were on the way out. It was just a cool experience. And what I wore to that event, I definitely wanted to come pushing through the dough for sure. We're from the House of Mancera. We went with Black Gold. Black Gold. So this was the fragrance of choice. I got a couple of compliments from some of the ladies who were in attendance. It was definitely more ladies there than men. It was probably about 5 or 6 guys, and then the rest of the room was filled with ladies. So it was a really dope event. Black Gold did its thing and pushed and performed really, really well. And I love this stuff. This stuff is one of the more unique fragrances from the House of Lattafa to me, and I love it, man. It just has so much going on. You get this slight aquatic note mixed in with a little bit of oud, and you got a big boost of lavender and citrus notes. It's just a lot going on, and I really, really like this stuff. I forget what line it came from, but it's a 4-ounce, 120 ml bottle. Performs like a monster, and this is one I would highly recommend from the line if you're trying to get into Mancera. I would line it up, after it's a drop boisé, then you might want to get into this one. So on Saturday to the Gucci event, I had a great time. We went with from the House of Mancera, we went with Black Gold. Black Gold. Great stuff. All right, man, so that's going to wrap up this week's weekly rotation. Hopefully you guys, had a good week in wearing fragrances yourself. So let me know down below in the comments what you wore. Tell me, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever. Do you have any of these that I wore throughout my week? Kind of let me know how you feel about them. If you love them, if you don't, if you have an opinion, whatever, man. Let's talk about it down below in the comments. I welcome it all for sure. All right, so until next time, you guys be cool, be safe, take care of yourselves. And of course, put that juice on, man. Put that splacker on and don't play. Don't play with yourself. Represent the Smell Good family, man. It's our duty to do this. Splacker up. All right? Y'all be easy, man. Take care.